it is summertime. Snow bunnies are out 24/7. I saw this very interesting clip going. Or we talk about the snow bunnies and how black like not like no, this is more about strong women. Sorry, but
Mm.
how Chelsea Handler, why she dates black men, and she
Oh,
gave her
she has a new
explanation.
Mhm.
special
Yeah,
out.
she has a
Yeah.
new comedy special. So she did a podcast recently. I'll show you all.
Okay.
Did you guys watch this clip that I sent over? Probably not. All right.
Oh no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, let me see. I think I've seen that clip. Yeah,
Hold on. Let me share it.
what about treating women
Okay.
better, treating
No, no,
women
no, no, no,
better or
no.
something.
Share this. I'll play it for you. Hold
Mhm.
on. Let me reload it.
Appreciate, yeah, they
Black
appreciate women.
men in general, and this is a generalization, seem to appreciate women like me more than white men. There seems to be a disconnect between strong, powerful white men and strong, powerful white women. There feels like I'm a lot of woman. I say what I want to say, I do what I want to do, and that for some reason threatens a lot of men. There's a certain type of men that don't like that. They think I'm too loud or I'm too brass but I'm just acting like a man. I'm not acting like anything. I'm acting like myself, and it's similar to what a man would do, and which would be fine. And there's something about black men that like that. They think that's cute, and they're turned on by my outrageousness or the fact that I don't give a fuck or that I want, that
Jenna's
I'll
like
say
that.
the
That's funny.
thing. And so
Yeah, that you were selling. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Now, so,
I like that. So there doesn't feel like such an imbalance. There's definitely like a cultural thing where black men it feels like they appreciate that kind of thing more. And so that's attractive, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a woman, you want to be desired, and you want men who want to have sex with you and are like turned on by your strength, not emasculated by your strength.
Oh.
Like my strength shouldn't make you feel weak. It should make you feel
Mhm.
strong.
Right.
That's how I think. Like I want black men.
so I agree with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Because but it's
Mhm.
funny the way and Lauren, you might want to comment on this. Like since
Yeah, I would like
I think
to.
yeah okay. I'll say what my view. Like the
Okay.
from a cultural standpoint, I think that black men have always been surrounded by strong black women. So when we do find whether we like white or black, whatever, but when we do find a woman, they we tend to go in one or two directions. One where we like a woman of maybe the opposite culture or race that is strong because like the typical white woman is very just lily white and soft flower. I need everything. Daddy's gonna take care of me. I want you to take care of me. I need this, that, and the third. I'll let you beat me. I'll let you do this. I'll let you do that. You could cheat on me. I'll just make babies and cook and clean all day. And
Oh
then
gosh.
this is stereotypical shit. And then the black women, it's like, and this is one of those things. I I've toted the line, but I dated white women, black women, a couple of Hispanic women, never Asian women. And the only reason I didn't date Asian women is because my mom was such a strong like dragon mom. I'm half Filipino. She was like a dragon
Mhm.
mom. Like you go to school, you learn this and that. She beat us with a slipper, all this stuff, and I was scared of that. So that's why I never was attracted to Asian women. They're beautiful, but I never was like attracted to them in the sense of like, oh, I could date you or anything like
Mhm.
that. So I went and wanted, and then
Mhm.
then I tended to go for softer women. And then like in college, some of the black women were just a little harder. So I always went after white girls, and the white girls the same. Like we were just talking about, little cheerleaders, all this other stuff, and whatever. And but that also didn't really, I needed balance. So I think my wife is the perfect mix of both. Little princess, and she's
Mhm.
kind of has a hard edge to her, but there's a lot of um I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to like strong white women, I don't really particularly care for them that much either. They're just very hard to get along with, in my opinion. They don't move me as much as I can be friends with them, but I don't. They don't move me as much as a softer white woman or a softer black woman, which would be perfect. And maybe
Mhm.
maybe like I said, with a little bit of both mixed in. But I'm going too much on a tangent. Lauren, what
Mhm.
say you
Yes.
about this? What do you think?
No, I think men, no matter the race, it's a lot of men who are intimidated by women in general.
Hmm.
I've had
Mhm.
that experience. I feel like I'm pretty quiet. But at the same time, people that know me know I'm a pretty strong woman, and not in a way of like the strong, independent Black woman type. It's just like just knowing myself and loving myself. It seems to intimidate a lot of men because I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of men, not just men, but women too, but people don't love themselves. And when you do, and they don't know their self, it could come off as intimidating and they think, oh, you think you're better than me. I feel like that
Mhm.
plays a huge role.
Mhm.
But I also feel like you have brought up Black women being like hard and aggressive acting.
I
I
didn't
feel
say
like
that. Did
that's
I say that? I say
you
aggressive.
said in college, well, not
Oh
aggressive,
no,
but
no. Did I say that? Okay.
no, you.
But,
I know
yeah,
you
I did.
didn't. No,
I might have to
listen,
go, but I didn't say that. And if I did
I
say that, I
know.
take it back. I didn't
I
mean. I
know you didn't
lied.
mean it.
I'm
Yeah,
bleep
no,
out
I
all
know you
those
didn't
words.
mean it. I know
No, I
you didn't
did.
mean
I
it
probably
in a
did
like.
mean it. Aggressive.
No, I know you didn't mean it in a like a rude way, but a
I
lot of
probably
Black
did.
women. I'm a Black woman, so I'm gonna speak for like Black women, but I feel like a lot of us act hard or have that persona because just having a lack of maybe like a father in your life or an active
Mhm.
father or
Mhm.
that emotional aspect from a man. So we feel like we got to fill that void in that role because it's just something that's been lacked.
Mhm.
Um
That's on
and
both
I
sides
know,
too, for men too. Like,
Yeah.
wait,
yeah, on the
That's
mom,
why.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why
did
men
you
be so
grow up with no
sensitive.
dad?
Yeah.
You grew up with no
No,
dad?
I have a father,
Okay.
but things were
Okay.
still complicated. Like,
Mhm.
I know Sean. Well,
um,
Sean, well, you're pretty open about that.
yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Hmm.
Sean has he had mom that.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like having that
Yeah.
absent parent, especially of the opposite sex, like it just plays a role on
Yeah.
how
Oh,
people
absolutely.
are
Mhm.
when they get older and everything. But
Mhm.
yeah, like you were saying though, I think a mix of both is good, like that balance of being soft but having that strong side as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But it seems like a lot of people lean on one side nowadays. So hopefully
Yeah,
people can find a
like
balance.
like Savannah James, I find her to be like a
Mhm.
great example of that. Right? Very, like she's held down that whole family. Savannah James, LeBron James's wife. She's held down the whole
Mhm.
Oh.
family, takes care of all the stuff, like
Mhm.
all the crazy stuff. She and she'll go hard for her husband if she has to, and she
Mhm.
has, right. When people throw accusations at him or do whatever, so um, that's a good. But then some of the independent, like very independent. I'm better than you. There's so many of those, especially on Capitol Hill. Sean, you know that. Like when we was out there,
Oh
like
yeah.
a lot of these sisters is out there, like, oh, you gotta be all buttoned up, making all this money, doing this, that, and the third, or else I can't fuck with you. And then some of these dudes, like me, I was like, what the fuck? Nah, I'm good. Like I just want to have fun. Why can we have fun?
Mhm.
And then you wonder why they're 45, and still
Mhm.
single or whatever, being too idealistic about things. And then
Mhm.
there's women out there, that just grew up hard because, like you said, they didn't have a father figure in the house. They never could be daddy's
Mhm.
little girl. So they never were able to be, soft, and they had depending on how they came up. Like
Mhm.
you didn't have the time to actually be, feminine. You're like some of these chicks,
Yeah.
especially if they grew up in the hood, their moms could be like real hood, like, out at the club all night. You just
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
following those footsteps and shit. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's wild. But then also with white women, and Sean, you can speak on this. That's what I've always, like I've always looked at the lily white girls, like, okay, but then you don't really take them seriously, right? Especially in relationships. Whenever I dated white women that were like that, like super soft or whatever, I'm like, yeah, you get bored with it after a while because they're so needy. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? I always felt that they were needy. And then this is like college and whatever, and the couple I dated outside of that. But yeah, that's why I kind of was like, when I got into a relationship, I wanted somebody a little more independent, that was actually smart, that did, and I wish my wife would cook, but you can't win them all. So it's like one of those things, And
Mhm.
I know Sean, like I mean, you've been on both. What's your story like?
Well, no, I mean, definitely had both sides of, um, but it's really, I don't know. I feel like as you mature and you understand, like kind of like what Lauren said, a little bit more about yourself and where you are and what um how you really want to live your life and enjoy who you're with, and you have different things that drive you to find that person. And so early on, right, our initial interaction with people in general is for instant gratification. So
Yeah.
things happen, things happen very fluidly, right? It's very flighty. So things happen, right? And then
Yeah.
so I think it's just, and that's why I don't know, with people in general, we're all the same, but at different times.
Mhm.
We all find ourselves in a situation where someone else would probably react the exact same way, but it's a different situation, right? So you drop a wallet, how many people pick it up and try to return it to someone? How many people keep it, right? There's a lot of, but if you drop $100,000, more people are going to keep it, right? So it's like,
I mean, it
the
depends on the-
situation.
I've
the
returned money
situation
before.
Well, no, I've seen someone in ATM, and I've basically, it's like another transaction, and I've like, took it back to the bank or whatever. But
Yeah.
if someone drops $2 million out of a truck, people then start to really, their moral ground starts to lessen.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So,
if money's just
yeah.
flying in the air. But I
Yeah.
I returned. Somebody left like a gift bag on top of my car in a parking lot
Mhm.
once. This is when I was working at USA Today, and had the person's name in it, everything. So I took it up to the office, looked through the thing. $1,000 gift card was in there. It was crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, somebody gave. I was like, who's giving out $1,000 gift cards? So I'm looking, and I'm like, damn, somebody that works in the organization. I emailed them and gave them back their stuff. I could have
Oh yeah,
kept
yeah.
it. I
But
should
no,
have kept it. Now
exactly.
I'm thinking about it, but
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, right, we all, when we're young, right, most people are going to go for, I don't care, white, black, or otherwise, right? Most people are going to go for type whatever, right? So,
Yeah.
and then as you progress, because what you see happen is, right, the people that don't grow into like a proper relationship and they're 70 in the club, it's a sad
you
day
got one of
and
those.
time.
Yeah.
We used to see him. We used to be
Yeah,
in
man.
Dream back in the day. It'd be the dude 60
Dream.
and bald
No,
and
no,
everything. And
Mhm.
it
What
was
was
like
that?
Dream or Love or
No,
one of
when we were in Adams
H2O
Morgan,
maybe? Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Central. Remember that we did?
Yeah.
Oh, Lauren, it was creepy.
Mhm.
Old like 40-year-old like dudes in the corner waiting for the girls to get super drunk and just start
No, there
grinding
was that
on
one
them.
dude. He was like 70, and he would
Oh,
be
there was
like
old.
dancing.
Remember that
and
old
stuff.
Indian
He would-
guy?
Yeah,
There
he
was
would
an old
yeah,
Indian
yeah,
guy. He
the-
just started backing up on,
Yeah.
just putting it
So-
on the chick.
Wow.
We were looking at it like, what the hell? The girls like, ew, girls, get away.
So
But,
my point being is, right, at a certain point in time, we see, or you and I or us, we wouldn't see that because we wouldn't be in that situation, right? So you see one or two guys like that, and that's all you see. But when
Yeah.
you're all 19, 20, 21, 22, right? That's the majority, and people are just going to gravitate towards whatever they feel is instant gratification. I don't think people understand what relationships are until they kind of go
actually
through
fall
and
into one.
and see. Yeah, and so I think she makes a great point. I think what she's saying is an interesting point. And I agree with some of the things as well. But I think that people have to get there, white, black, or otherwise. People just have to get to the point where they understand and where they are, to again Lauren's point of who you are, and then you can have a proper relationship, whatever success, non-success, whatever the case may be, because you can be honest with that person. So
you
that's
don't
the
think
real-
any of this has to do with culture, like the way people
Well,
are raised
no-
or whatever?
Well, not necessarily, because
Because if you like a
when-
stronger woman, like that's a thing. Like people, like white
Well-
boys. Let's put it this way: if you grew up in a house where, let's say, you're a Plibber's
Well,
white
it
kid,
was a-
all you
was a
see is a weak
stay
white.
home
Your
and all.
mom is just, just cooking and cleaning, and
But-
like, oh, okay, yes,
but
sir,
that's
no,
that's
let's
all
go,
that's all we
you know.
see. That even if there's a kid in the inner city that doesn't have that, that's all I see on TV anyway. That's the stereotype of
Yeah, but
what we're
that's
going
what
to
they
see.
want. That's what they want, right? At some point.
Well, again, anything
Mm.
that's going to influence us, like Saved by the Bell, I used to watch, right, when I was a kid. It was like a show I used to watch. Saved by the Bell had no reflection necessarily of my, my
Lisa
opinion.
Turtle?
But again,
She was black.
what you
Blackity
when
black.
you're young, you gravitate towards what's fun and attractive or whatever, or bubbly
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. Like it's for everybody. There's no one who is 16 being like, oh, this woman is a boss. No, and the woman is not
Yeah.
saying that about the guy. This
Yeah.
guy, he's a boss. Like, no, they're just really into each other. They're attracted to each other, and that's that. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things, and that's when we start to get into these sects, when people start to have opinions that make people feel a certain way, and then we don't talk about anything because we're too far apart. So I think this is one of those examples, but it could have some cultural undertones. But I think both sides of the coin can be affected the same way, right? By the same thing. And some, not even being in that environment, right? You can have great kids that come out of a horrible environment. You can have horrible kids that come out of a affluent environment. Who's to know? So
Yeah. Yeah, see. And then so people get influenced by that stuff. So like if you know somebody, like a teacher, or you never know who your first crush will be or whatever. And it could be like a stronger woman, man, that totally, is different from what you've seen at home or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that could also influence it, or just a personality that you meet out there, because the opposites attract, right? So it is what it is.